Today, we're comparing multiple generations of the Toyota RAV4 to see which one is best for you, starting with
Nissan's got a Rogue, Honda's got a CR-V, and we've got a RAV4. My name is Aiden with Upper James Toyota, and today I'm going to be taking a deep dive look into a fully loaded RAV4 Limited to see if it's worth the dollar. All right, so let's take a close-up look onto a 2024 RAV4 Limited. Now, this being a fully loaded RAV4, I want to answer the question, is it worth the dollar compared to other competitors on the current market right now for a full-sized 5-passenger SUV? Now, looking at the front end of a RAV4 Limited, it will look a little bit different than the other trim levels you can also get in a RAV4. We're going to start on the front grille. It's got this interesting chrome bezeled silver or gunmetal polished front grille, which is only on this kind or this trim level of a RAV4. Put that up with your nice LED projector headlamps and LED fog lights. Now, those are on some different trim levels as well, but on this one, you're going to be getting every single last feature possible on a RAV. Now, one on the front end that you will not be getting in the other models are going to be down below. You're going to be getting these little dots here on both ends of your front bumper, and those are for your front parking sensors. This is the only RAV that comes with front parking sensors. So if that's something you're looking for, if you're driving into the city, or you just want that for everyday peace of mind, maybe this trim level is worth it for you. Now, taking a closer look onto the side profile of a 24 RAV4 Limited, one thing you're going to be noting, you'll be getting standard from the factory 19-inch alloys. Now, they will be finished in full silver. And if you saw one of my previous videos comparing the new Camry to an IS300, I will tell you that for my personal liking, I'm not a fan of a full silver rim. I would like it to be more gunmetal or maybe even black, which the gunmetal is offered on a hybrid version of a Limited RAV. And if you're gonna give me those two options, I will be taking those rims instead of these ones, but that's just for the color. The actual look and layout of the wheel, I actually think looks pretty good on this vehicle. You guys can let me know down below in the comments. Now, looking onto the side profile of this specific RAV we have here now, this does have included from the factory body side moldings, which is typically an additional fee you would be paying as a Toyota genuine accessory. All this basically does is when you're opening your door, instead of a door damaging, if it ever hit this door, the full panel, it would only be dinging this small little line or this strip of plastic, which you can peel off and it color matches your paint. And in this case, color is going to be featured as Blueprint, which is our dark metallic blue, which I think is one of my favorite colors we offer in our lineup. Not too sure if you guys have seen the color in person, but it definitely lightens up in the sunshine and gets a little bit darker in the nighttime, so I'm a huge fan of it. Okay, so if you're looking onto the door handles for the side profile of a RAV4, this is one thing that's different on this vehicle versus the other trim levels that we offer, is that all of them are coming with this silver chrome piece along all 4 door handles. What this basically means is that with the key in your hand or in your pocket, in your purse or in a bag, you can basically lock and unlock the vehicle from any door handle. So it's got all 4 door handles as a smart key access system, making it very, very easy for you and your family to jump in and out. Hey guys, I know you guys are enjoying the video, but please do not forget to like and subscribe so we can become the #1 Toyota YouTube channel on earth. Now, taking a closer look onto the rear of the Limited RAV4, another way you can actually tell this is a Limited versus any other model is that this little silver strip is going to be standard on any color that you get. So the only color that it really blends in for is going to be silver. Everything else, it's still going to have this little accent on the rear. I'm not really too sure why they did that. It's just a small thing Toyota has done. And then the obvious one you could look at is that in the bottom right corner, it'll be saying Limited all-wheel drive, because all the new RAVs that are gas come standard as all-wheel drive. Now, this is the only thing on the back that is not going to be genuine from the factory. It is going to be an accessory we have added from Toyota, which is blacked out badging. So they basically took your RAV4 emblems, your Toyota emblem, Limited, and the all-wheel drive logo, made it from chrome into a matte black, which I actually think looks pretty cool. You can't really tell the big difference on this only because it's a dark vehicle, but if you put this on, say, a silver, a red, or a white, obviously it would pop a little bit more. Now, getting into the trunk, super simple. You push the button, the trunk trunk will come up for you very, very simply. Now, into the back of the vehicle, one thing you'll be noting, and I'll be showing you more on the inside, is that here's your JBL subwoofer in the rear. This is the only RAV4 that comes standard with JBLs, which sound phenomenal in my opinion. And if you're someone who likes to listen to music, it doesn't even have to be loud music, but just a nice bassy, clear tones for the radio, any songs you're playing, any podcast, this could be the trim level you're looking for to achieve that nice audio system. Now, into the trunk, a couple things that are standard from the factory, which some people do not know. On a limited RAV, a cargo liner is standard, as well as your tunnel cover or your privacy cover, which just retracts like this and goes back very, very simply, as well as this little bag right here. It's not out right now, but it's a cargo net. So basically all that does, it clips into these little clips that you can see, two on the back, which are just silver or chrome. And what that basically does, it provides a little net in the trunk that has an elastic. So if you throw any groceries, stuff you don't want to be, swinging around as you're driving, you can throw stuff in there, which is very, very convenient. And the last feature that I love on this vehicle, and it's only offered on this trim level for a gas RAV4, is going to be your automatic tailgate with the kick sensor. So a couple other models have that, like our Sienna, for example, and some of our other larger SUVs. However, this one does have it. So it's very convenient. If your hands are full, you can basically walk up to the trunk of the vehicle. You kind of see where your license plate should be on your trunk. And on the right-hand side of this, all you do is you put your foot in, pull it out, and then your trunk will close down automatically for you. Once this is closed, because all doors are keyless, you can walk up, put your hand on it, lock it, and then jump inside. Okay guys, now taking a closer step onto the inside of a 24 Limited RAV. Now this one is spec'd out in black. You can also option this in a few different color options as an interior color. And if you have one of those, let me know why and which color you guys chose over the standard black. Now, for myself, I can tell right by looking at the inside of this vehicle that this is a Limited, and I can tell you a couple small things to kind of distinguish this versus any other RAV that we have in our lineup that is a gas model. Number one is going to be this dark brown cutout around your cup holders, wireless charger, and your storage compartments on the passenger, and then I have a small one on the driver's side as well. It's only offered on a Limited RAV. Not really too sure why. The other RAV, we offer a different trim, I guess you could say, for these compartments would be a Trail edition, and that comes as an orange trim, which is just a small little thing to note if you didn't know that. So that's the only thing offered for the Limited. And then the other big obvious one for me is going to be this massive screen, which is only offered on a Limited. So it's a 12.3 touch display with wireless Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and Sirius XM, and it's very, very responsive. They updated screens in the RAV back in 23. So if you received a 23, you would have gotten the new screens with the new backup camera and the new tech that the new screens offer basically on most of our vehicles, which is a nice addition to see because the screens definitely needed a redesign and a refresh. Now, the other big one for me is going to be my MID display in front of the driver, which is going to be fully digital, and it is no more needles. So I like the look of this. I've touched on this before in different videos I have done, talking about getting away from the old school needle look. I think the one screen, all digital, makes the car look a little bit more, refreshed and also very, very new into the current day of technology. Now, a couple cool things standard on this vehicle that you do not get out of any other RAVs. You're getting cooled seats, which is also standard on this package, as well as heated seats, a full heated steering wheel, auto lights, auto wipers, auto rear wiper. You'll be getting heated rear seats, which is the only RAV that offers that feature as well. Now, a couple things looking at just convenience features wise in this vehicle. I won't just touch upon what's exclusive to a Limited RAV. I'll just talk about the other features you will be getting in this vehicle. So I'm going to start with an 8-way power driver seat and a passenger seat, which is nice to have. Now the driver seat will have 2 memory options as well, which are right here. So you can have 2 drivers set up. If I was driving versus say my girlfriend driving the vehicle, I'm going to come in at being much taller than she is. So obviously I would have my seat one way, she could have her seat the other way. So it's definitely nice convenience wise that instead of readjusting and kind of delaying your trip to kind of get going, it will obviously adjust the seat where I put it from the first place, which I love. Now, another cool feature that a lot of people don't know a whole lot about is going to be up here. Now, it's just obviously at first glance, this is just looking into your rear window and it's just your rear camera. Now, the rear camera actually happens when you flip this towards you, and this actually shows a stagnant mounted camera on the rear glass of the trunk. Now what this does is I can move this around, I can show around, and it doesn't change anything. And what that's gonna do is basically if you have any tall people in the rear, any boxes in the trunk that you can't see out of, or maybe it's just really foggy on the rear glass and you can't get it to kind of go away, you could use this option. And it is very, very clear. So clear that if you're driving and you can see through this, you can actually read license plates of cars behind you. So I think it's one of those kind of cool features. You can get this added on to any other RAV that you wanted to, but on a limited, it actually comes standard. So if it's something you're kind of looking for on a limited, you don't have to pay anything extra. And I think it's around the $600 mark, somewhere like that. You guys can correct me in the comments if I'm off a little bit there, but that's typically what one of these will run you, adding it on to any other RAV4. So I think kind of having that standard feature kind of gives obviously use to the vehicle, as well as having 3 garage doors. You can also pair this up with as well, just in case you have, you're parking underground, or you do have say a 3-car garage or a 2-car garage. You can always add this on to get into your house very, very simply. Now, those are all the cool things on the front of the vehicle. I'm going to take a step onto the back, see how comfortable that is, and see how that works out for you. All right, now jumping into the rear of a RAV4. So again, I left my seat where I was, and I'm very, very comfortable. I've done a Rogue versus a RAV4 comparison video, and obviously I still sit very, very comfortably in this one. Now, looking onto the rear of this RAV, the limited name and the trim level of that is really featured for convenience features on the outside, and obviously some features on the front of the vehicle. In the rear, there's only one feature that you basically get that's different, and it's on the side here, and those are gonna be your heated rear seats. You push this in, turns orange. That means that this full seat is going to be heated, as well as your other passenger sitting to the next. I actually think it's a pretty cool feature to have. I know that a lot of manufacturers are going that route because a vehicle like this is typically going to be, a family car. You're going to put your kids in the back of it, and you're going to have other passengers. That's why you buy a vehicle that has space. So I think that come the winter times, because having leather, obviously the one downside to leather is that it gets super hot in the summertime, super cold in the winter time. So it's nice to kind of have all the seats be nice and toasty, just in case it is a chilly, December day. But other than that, there's really nothing else to point out that's different. You have your regular cup holders that fold down here. I'm sitting on the 40 side of the seat. This is the 60 side, so you can fold this all the way down, which I can do now for you. This just folds down to obviously put anything from the trunk into the rear of the RAV. And even with this down, I'm still fine to sit back here. I'm not necessarily crammed. Got a couple USB ports down there too, so I can charge up my phone or any devices that I have. So if you threw me in the back of a RAV, I'm more than happy to sit back here. They're pretty comfortable, and it'd be obviously a great choice for you and your family as your next car. All right, guys, let's talk some numbers for a 24 RAV4 Limited. Now, this is going to be powered by a 2.5 4-cylinder that's going to be making about 203 horsepower and about 184 pound-feet of torque. Now, all of that is going to be going through an 8-speed automatic gearbox, and this is all-wheel drive. So you'll be averaging about 8.4 liters per 100 on this vehicle, which actually isn't too bad looking at the size and the size of the tires on this vehicle. Now, talking price on a RAV4, MSRP for 2024 is currently coming in at $44,750. You still have to add, obviously, your freight and PDI, subtotal of taxes, your dealer charges, and your licensing fee. However, I do think the price tag on this vehicle with the features it offers is actually pretty comparative, and comparable to some other models currently on the market. You guys can let me know if you think this package is going to be worth the dollar. Please do not forget to like and subscribe. Again, my name is Aiden with Upper James Toyota. Thanks so much for checking out this video, and we'll check you guys out in the next one. RAV4, I would say, is going to be our top selling SUV that we offer. Now, this being a fully loaded RAV4, it's going to have every single last feature available on the vehicle. So taking a look onto the front end of this vehicle, a couple things to note. This is the only RAV4 that comes standard from the factory with parking sensors on the front, which are going to be these little small circles on your front bumper and this kind of gunmetal style grille. Now, with that being said, you still have fog lamps on the sides of the vehicle. And just like I'm going to tell you on the Lexus, and in a video that I just recently did on the Venza, is going to be that I like the fact that Toyota and Lexus have pushed fog lights onto the corners of the front bumper. I think that obviously gives more visibility on the front end of both these vehicles, and something that people would want to obviously keep you and your family safe along the road. Now, one other great feature that I will note that is not on that Lexus is going to be right here, and that is your front camera. This is also good for your 360 camera, and that's a part of the safety sense features offered on this RAV only. It's the only gas RAV that comes with that feature. 19-inch alloy wheels from Toyota. The only downside is they're chrome or silver, which in my opinion are not my favorite color for a wheel. And then number two is going to be that your wheel well surrounding the actual inside of this wheel well is going to be this matte black plastic material, and I just don't think it is, looking necessarily the best versus, on a hybrid version of this vehicle, or on an S line or an XSE version of one of these. This can actually be gloss black, and I think that it obviously rounds out the vehicle a little bit better in my opinion. On the door handles, we have this little chrome piece on the top of all 4 door handles. From Toyota, we have added blacked out badging for our limited all-wheel drive logo, as well as your Toyota logo and the RAV4. So typically that is chrome or silver, and in this case the black actually looks pretty cool and a really, really good genuine Toyota accessory to add on to any of your next future Toyota purchases from us. So definitely consider that down the road. Now, looking at styling on the back of these, honestly, the RAV's just been looking the exact same since 2019. So there's really not a whole lot to really touch upon. I will be saying that we are knowing that the redesigned RAV4 is coming in the near future. So definitely stay tuned and check that out whenever we get a redesigned RAV4, which I'm hoping will be in 2026, not confirmed yet by Toyota. Now, the one thing that the RAV4 has that the Lexus NX350 does not have is going to be your power tailgate with the kick sensor. So you basically line up to the right of your license plate frame, put your foot into the bumper, pull it out really quickly, and then all of a sudden your power tailgate will lift up for you. Now, convenience feature-wise, I think that is huge, and I think that is something that a lot of families would obviously like to have in a vehicle. Now, this being a RAV4 Limited and a top of the trim levels you can be getting on this vehicle, from Toyota, you'll be getting a cargo liner, which is free of charge from the factory, as well as your cargo net, which is right here. It clips up to your 4 different pins there in your trunk to basically prevent anything rolling around. So if you had any groceries or stuff you didn't want, shooting around left and right in the trunk while you're driving, this could be a really good accessory to add. And on most vehicles is an option that you could be adding when you do pick up your new car. Now, another thing that I've actually never once pointed out, which I'm going to point out now, is that say for example, you were parking this vehicle in an underground parking garage, or you just didn't want it to go up as high as you wanted it to. That's no problem. You can actually height adjust this. So it's very simple to do so. All you'd actually do is push this button in. It's going to come down slightly, and if you want to stop it there, no problem. Now all you'd have to do is hold this button a couple seconds. It's going to beep like it did there. And now this is going to be the highest that the trunk will open when you actually open the vehicle, whether that's with the kick sensor, the button on the key fob, or the button on the inside of the vehicle. Then just to reset it, it's pretty simple. Just push the trunk all the way up to the desired height you want it to be, or from factory, which is here. Simply hold this again. It's going to beep at you, and it's all set and done. So that's one thing that I haven't actually touched upon before, which I definitely wanted to touch upon in this video today for you guys. All right, now let's take a closer peek onto the inside of the RAV4. So this is actually going to be very, very close to the NX. Couple things that are going to be a little bit different are going to be your sunroof, which in the NX you get a moonroof, a couple little things trim wise and some features like that. But honestly, this is kind of the package that I would be buying if I'm ever getting into a RAV4. I think that having something that includes a 12.3 display, which is redesigned for 23s and up for a RAV4, is something that I would be, spending my money on. That paired up with cooled seats, a heated steering wheel, a wireless charger, JBL sound system with a full digital tachometer. I definitely think that this is kind of the most luxurious feel to a RAV4 that we could actually get on the market currently. Now, this does come optional with different interior colors. Black is going to be the number one. I really haven't seen a whole lot of the other ones, and the other 2 colors that are offered are going to be like a mid to light brown, I guess I could say, and then like a darker gray on the insides of the vehicle. Now, those are only partnered up with certain exterior colors. This color that we're currently showing this vehicle off in today is called Blueprint, and that is offered with a light gray interior or black. If you want the brown, you'd have to go to a white interior, and so on and so forth. But if you are getting a vehicle with a different interior color, obviously exterior color kind of filters into certain colors are offered. Now, this one being the way it is right now, I actually think would be the exact spec I would get my Limited limited RAV in. I love the blue. It's a cool, you know, kind of lightens up in the sunshine, darkens up in the nighttime. So it's kind of like a 2-for-1 color in my own opinion. With that being said, the exterior wise, interior wise, again, I think they've just added the practicality bit of it into a RAV4 without breaking the bank. They've actually achieved that on a RAV. I think that someone spending this kind of money on a vehicle wants certain features, but they also don't need every last feature. For example, I don't need a vehicle with heads-up display. I just don't need it. If it's there, it's cool, but it's not something that in my personal, you know, opinion is, you know, a make or break for me. The only thing, and I think it's a common thing I will say in most of my videos, is going to be the panoramic sunroof or moonroof. I think that I like that in any vehicle. I'm sad that the RAV4 doesn't offer that along any gas model or hybrid. The only RAV you can get that in is an XSE Prime or an XSE Tech Package Prime, which is really interesting. I don't know why it's only offered on those two vehicles, but either way, I at least get one, you know, half of the sunroof, which is a typical one in today's day and age. So if you're gonna ask me, I'm pretty happy with that. All right, now jumping into the back of the RAV4. So I definitely will say I feel a bit more spacious than the NX350, and head space is actually pretty good. They have a little like cutout that goes into the center here, and it gets a little bit higher up for your rear passengers if you had anyone that's a bit taller like myself. So this actually works pretty well for me. Now, I've got a couple of air vents back here, just 2 of them, with a couple of USB-C lightning ports as well to charge up any of my devices. Down the center, just like the NX, you have 2 cup holders, no storage though in the center here. And just like the NX, the seats will fold 60-40 in case you need anything to load into your vehicle. Now, a couple things that this has that the NX doesn't have and vice versa. Firstly, you're going to see there's no speaker up here. You only have one down here. And again, I think that actually could be a new thing for me, especially listening to music inside that vehicle. I think that being in the rear seat, they've actually done a very good job to make not only the ride enjoyable for the people in the front, but also the people in the rear. With that being said, the one thing that this has that the NX does not have is going to be this button right here, and that's for heated seats. You push that in, it turns orange. Now, why it's orange and not red, I'm not really too sure. It's always been my pet peeve of why the heated seats are an orange light and the cooled seats are a green light. You know, if you're gonna ask me, it should be red and blue. That kind of makes most sense to me. And guess what? The Lexus has red and blue. So I really hope when they redesign the RAV, they add that feature into that redesigned version of a RAV. But again, it's not gonna kill me if they keep the orange and the green as the color indicators for a heated or cooled seat. But other than that, I think that being in the back of the RAV, you're pretty comfortable. Again, I can't really complain. I did say that in the Venza, in a prior video that I've done, is that up here, you do have this light for your rear passengers. This, because it doesn't have a full panoramic moonroof, it obviously makes sense to have this here, but I think on the Lexus, they've pushed it further back into the trunk, and I think that that's something that just kind of takes an eyesore away from anyone in the rear of the vehicle, and something that I have noticed that I'm kind of like, it feels like something's looking directly down at me. That's just my own personal opinion. Now to wrap things up, let's go over some pricing for both these vehicles and see which one's better suitable for you. This vehicle will be coming in at $44,750 for a 24 model. So obviously it comes in significantly less than an NX350. And I want to know, if you guys were buying either one of these, why would you be picking either of these vehicles at the certain price point that these are at? To hit like and subscribe so you do not miss any more of our future Toyota related content, and we'll check you guys out in the next video. What's going on, guys? It's Aiden with Upper James Toyota again, and today we're going to be reviewing a very, very popular Toyota vehicle. This is an SUV first released in 1994. Now, if you're not fully for the full electric side of things, we've got the best combination for you. It's going to be a 2024 RAV4 Prime XSE technology package, which is a mix of a gas and a hybrid motor. Let's check it out and see what works best for you. Now, on a day-to-day basis, I'm very, very fortunate to talk to potential customers and previous customers. And a big thing that some people aren't too sure of these days, if they're gonna go fully electric or fully gas. So the RAV4 Prime is a great vehicle to be reviewing, and that's why we thought it would be an important one to feature on the channel. Now, talking about the 2024 RAV4 Prime, it's a 2.5 4-cylinder paired with 2 electric motors and an 18.1 kilowatt battery pack. All of that combined total output, 302 horsepower, sending all the power to the all-wheel drive system. Now looking at the front of the RAV4 Prime. So you're gonna be getting LED headlights. Now on a tech package as well, you will be getting front parking sensors on the vehicle. So getting into small spots, you're going to be very, very safe with all the safety features in this vehicle. Now on a tech package as well, or an XSE, you'll be getting vertical LEDs. So in the daytime running lights, both of these on. The front end looks very, very aggressive, still on your regular family size SUV. Now, taking a look at the side of the RAV4 Prime, you'll be getting 19-inch alloy wheels. Now, this specific alloy is only on a Prime. So I like the mix of this. It's silver mixed with a little bit of black, which is gonna be nice on this package specifically with the color combo. So on a RAV4 Prime or just a RAV4 hybrid in general, you can have two different options depending on which line you go, an L line or an S line. This is going to be falling on theoretically an S line kind of vehicle. On the side, you do get gloss black fender flares. That's gonna match your front splitter, the side skirts, and on this package, the roof as well. So it's nice because it adds a little bit of the black features throughout the vehicle, so it makes the vehicle look a little better in my opinion. Now, taking a look onto the rear of the RAV4 Prime, it looks the same versus a hybrid or a gas model, but this being a Prime, in the bottom left corner in red, you'll be seeing a Prime, which will be matching the inside stitching on the seats. Now, on the rear of the vehicle, again, you can see the black contrast like I talked about on the side. So the rear on the bumper here looks very, very good in black. It's matching the top roof, which is gonna be featured in black. So it's like two-tone split, little sporty for the vehicle. Now, a phenomenal feature on the back of the RAV4 Prime. On the XSE technology package, if your hands are full, you only wanna make one trip to the vehicle to put stuff in your trunk, you can go to the right edge of your license plate bracket, put your foot into the vehicle, pull it out, the trunk will open up for you, which is gonna be really great if your hands are full. You can throw your stuff into the back of the vehicle with only one trip, saving you a load of time. Now, looking into the trunk of this vehicle, a couple things you are going to notice is that the seats are gonna fold 60-40, which will show you when we get into the back of the vehicle. Very, very easy. They will fold very, very close to being flat, so you're gonna open up a lot of space in the vehicle if you're moving hockey bags, equipment, appliances, anything like that for your day-to-day needs. Now, another cool feature on the RAV4 Prime is that you're gonna be getting JBL sound system. So on the back, you have your subwoofer in the trunk of the vehicle. Sound system actually is very good in this vehicle, and it's one of my favorites that we offer through our Toyota lineup. And one of the best features on this vehicle is that when you open the vehicle, you can put your foot underneath the bumper. When you're closing, you can also do that too. So you can always head inside with anything with your hands full. So same thing, put your foot underneath the bumper, pull it out, the trunk will close for you, which is going to be very, very convenient. Now, let's take a peek on the inside. Okay, so taking a step into the 2024 RAV4 Prime. So in this vehicle, it's very, very spacious. It's a great SUV for a small family, 5 passengers, whatever you would like. One phenomenal feature I love in the RAV is that you do get a dual zone panoramic moonroof. So the people in the back, the vehicle's opened up quite a bit because it's not just a singular sunroof now, it actually extends into the second row, which I like in any vehicle. So I just did a Nissan and a RAV4 comparison video. That was on a very, very specific package comparing the two together. The Rogue had that feature, and it's a feature that I wish we had more on our vehicles. So a RAV4 Prime, if that's something you're looking for, this could definitely be the car for you. Now, this being a technology package, you are fully loaded with every feature that you could get on this vehicle. So you're gonna get heads-up display, JBL sound system, cooled seats, heated rear seats, heated steering wheel, 360 camera. You actually get paddle shifters on a RAV4 as well. It's the only RAV4 that we offer with paddle shifters. So you can shift into manual mode, kind of have some fun on a weekend, for example. On this package as well, you'll be getting a 12.3 multimedia display, wireless Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, cloud navigation, all come standard from the factory. Now in front of the driver, you'll be getting an 8-inch multimedia display, which is fully digital. So I love the way they're going. They're not keeping the needles in older models of a RAV4. They're making everything very, very detailed, technology-wise, especially being in a tech package. So let's talk why you would order a Prime. Toyota offers 2 plug-in vehicles that are a mix between a gas and a hybrid, and then our new vehicle, fully electric BZ4X. Now, talking about about a Prime, a couple benefits to that. If you're a commuter, you're in the city a lot, you'll be using a lot of your electric systems. You're not going to be using a whole lot of gas bumping around in traffic or downtown in a city. Now, if you are a highway driver, for example, and you don't want to be sitting in very, very tough traffic on your commute into work, a RAV4 Prime or even a Prius Prime both qualify for green plates. So depending on wherever you're living, most governments will give you a government incentive rebate. So you'll get that price off the total price of your vehicle, which is a perk. It's going to cost you less money, but then the big benefit is that you can always drive in the HOV lane in Ontario, for example, with only one person in the vehicle. Now, talking about that, on the electric system, if you're driving in optimal conditions, so a good temperature outside, it's not freezing cold, it's not pouring rain, you will normally get somewhere around 70 total kilometers on a full charge. Now, this being a very, very efficient vehicle and a vehicle that should be saving you gas, is that Toyota is going to basically only have this vehicle start in electric mode. So its go-to, the prime aspect of it, is going to be the electric part of it. The gas will kick in later. So it's very, very interesting what they have done. You will get phenomenal range on this vehicle in the hybrid system. You will also be able to get a very, very great fuel efficiency in the hybrid system. So it's a very phenomenal vehicle to consider if you are that commuter or someone saving some gas. Now, one thing I always love in a brand new vehicle, all the vehicles come loaded with stickers, stuff to peel off from the factory. There's a big sticker on the 12.3 multi-info display. I'm gonna take that off. It's a super, super satisfying noise. You guys can listen for yourselves. Now let's check out the back in a 2024 RAV4 Prime. Okay guys, so jumping into the back of the RAV4 Prime. I said in the front, one of the biggest things for me is going to be the sunroof above your head. For someone back here, you've got a lot of room, and obviously with the sunroof, it feels a lot more spacious. Now, this being a technology package, you will actually be getting a couple cool features into the rear for any of your passengers sitting back here. One of them being heated rear seats. So on the sides, on both the doors, you have a little switch. You can push that in, heated rear seats, which is phenomenal. Now, down below, you're gonna have two USB lightning ports, which is great. You're gonna have two cup holders in the center if you bring this down, a cup holder in each door. Honestly, it's very, very comfortable. I like the seats, I like the stitching, I love the looks of this vehicle, and on the inside, it doesn't feel like a typical RAV4. You know, there's so many different configurations of a RAV. The RAV4 Prime has been out since 2021, and they've definitely made a couple very, very cool feature changes onto the inside of the vehicle that people have been asking for over the years that this vehicle has been available. Okay, so to wrap things up on the 2024 RAV4 Prime, this vehicle will be coming in at $61,380 is the MSRP for this model year. You have to obviously add your freight and PDI, dealer charges, and your licensing fee, plus taxes. Then your government rebate for whatever province you are in or whatever states you are in can be applied from there going forward. Now, in this very, very fuel efficient SUV, you'll be averaging a combined about 6 liters per 100 kilometers. So that's very good for a vehicle at this size. So I have seen customers before driving one of these vehicles getting roughly on a full charge and a full tank of gas anywhere between about 900 kilometers distance to empty up to about 1100 or so, depending on time of the year, how hard they are driving the vehicle, and a few other factors. But if you are looking for a very, very efficient vehicle, this could be it for you. Okay guys, thanks so much for tuning into this video of the 2024 RAV4 Prime. Again, my name is Aiden. Please make sure to like and subscribe so you do not miss any of our Toyota related content down the road. We upload every Saturday, so please do not miss anything, and we'll check you guys out in the next video.